Hello everyone, welcome back to another Figurehead Reviews, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Marvel Legends Sasquatch Wave cable, or the Deadpool Wave cable, whichever you want to call it. We have the traditional window box here in the front. On the side we have some artwork there of cable, same thing on the other side. On the back we do have the product shot, as well as all the other figures needed in this wave to complete the Sasquatch Build-A-Figure. And down here we do have the read-up. A powerful mercenary, Cable uses telekinetic abilities and combat expertise to get the job done. And down on the bottom, a lot of legal information and, of course, the UPC code for all the hunters out there. Let's go ahead and get this package open and take a look at Cable. And here is a better look at Cable outside of the packaging, and very cool looking figure, let me tell you. I love that they are going back to the 90s with a lot of these figures. That's definitely, I was very much a child of the 90s, late 80s, 90s, and this is very much the look that I remember with Cable. We do get some reused parts here with the lower torso. We'll take a closer look at that, of course, but that's nothing unexpected. But man, overall, I think this is going to just be a wonderful addition to any X-Force, X-Men, Deadpool, whatever sort of collection you're building up. This is going to be an excellent addition. So let's take a better look at the accessories, and then we'll take a better look at Cable. And getting a better look at the accessories that come with Cable, we have, of course, the Build-A-Figure piece for Sasquatch, which we will be taking a look at in an upcoming video when we put him together. So that leaves our remaining 3 weapons that come with Cable. Let's go ahead and take a look at each of those. First, we do have the pistol here. That it's actually pretty cool. You get a actually double-barreled pistol right there, so very cool. It is one solid color, which is a little bit of a downer, but you can see you get a little bit of this silver effect in there, some of these little silver flakes, but yeah, pretty cool. And then we have this futuristic shotgun. Oh, sorry about that. There we go. So I said shotgun, but it actually looks like it might be some sort of minigun there. And you do get the same kind of silvering. You can sort of see in the light right there, the silver flecks there. So pretty cool. Not a whole lot going on the other side there. And then last but not least, we get this big boy here, which is definitely pretty cool. They actually took some time there to put in like some damage effects, and they did the same thing on the other side there, some scratches and stuff. Peg hole there for porting on the back of Cable, and a shoulder piece. One thing that's interesting is on the front, it does come with that port there, and if you happen to have any extra Iron Man figures like I do, you can port in the various fire effects. And get some different looks there for the blaster, plasma cannon type looks. Some of mine are a little warped. And you can put on, if you wanted to, the boxing glove from the previous Deadpool figure there. So it does work, but yeah, I think that's really cool that they put that port in there because it does allow you to do some pretty cool visual effects there for some dynamic posing. And each of these accessories will fit into his trigger hand over here. So looking at this double-barreled pistol, fits in just fine, and the trigger hand or trigger finger goes in there nicely. And that blaster, again, very easy going in there. And last but not least, his big, huge blaster fits in there nicely as well. So very cool there that the hand does work with all the accessories without any problems. And getting a look at Cable up close, and man, did Hasbro really knock it out of the park with this one, in my opinion. We get some very cool paint details on even just the head sculpt, but throughout some of the details that we get on the rest of them. But starting off there with the head, one of the cool things, the obvious cool thing, of course, is that eyepiece that they added in there, but also the scarring around the eye. They actually did add some paint deco to that, where you do have some of the pink in there. The mouth comes out very clean. That eye effect, very, very cool. There is a little bit, you can see the gap in the hair where it looks like maybe the glue didn't quite hold. Yeah. And you get some overpaint there on the hairline at the top. But overall, the details there, the shadowing in the hair, all very well done, very cool looking. And overall, I'm very happy with that. From a distance, you can't really see the gaps too much in some of that overpaint, so you only really get to see that up close. As we move down the rest of the figure there, we can see, again, some of the paint details I was talking about. I love that we get actually some painted shells there on his shoulder piece. You got the brown, that neck piece there, that the red X came through good. Pouches, all looking really, really good. Pretty basic on the chest there, just blue paint. The arm, actually, surprisingly, the sculpt is not the same as the sculpt on the previous Cable figure that we had. The previous Cable, you can see there, you have some different definition there in that bicep piece, and that elbow joint is a different size. So interesting that they actually used a different sculpt there for that piece. Otherwise, as we continue down, this is where we do have some of the reused parts. So we've seen these legs before in the top half of the previous Cable, but we've also seen them in Nuke. We've seen them in the Hydra Enforcer. Nothing new there. I do love all the pouches, though. So 90s. And you do got a holster there, which we'll kind of talk about. And then going down again, the sculpt is the same. So nothing special about the boots after that. But I do want to take a look at the holster that he has, as well as where we can put the rest of the weapons that he comes with, and also what's removable on this, because you have some removable pieces. So let's take a look at that. So looking at the accessories and how they can go on here, so we do have this holster here, which is meant for that double-barrel pistol blaster. And that can just slide right in there. There we go. There we go. So that does go in there just fine. And then you do have that piece on the back, which holds that blaster that he has there. So you can just plug that in, and then you get that look there with the weapon on the back. And he doesn't seem to have a spot for this blaster here, but you know, that could be in his hand, so no problems there. Taking a look at some of the pieces that can come off here real quick. So this chest piece, if you get in here, right behind that middle pouch, you can see where it plugs in. So mine wasn't glued, hopefully yours wasn't either, and literally just slides right off. And underneath there you have just that standard Nuke body, and you can take the head off, of course. I recommend being very careful. Normally you might just grab them and you know, get it out of there, but I don't want to hurt that, so kind of right there. Oh, and we can see that neck piece came off. Pop the head back on, and you have Cable without all of his pouches, without the neck piece, so you could display him like that if you wanted to. And let's go ahead and get a better look at the articulation. We'll put everything back on there for the articulation, because I think most of us are going to be displaying him with his shoulder pads and that neck pad. And getting a better look at the scale and articulation here on Cable, we do have Cable coming in at just under 7 inches, so he's definitely going to be one of the taller characters, but he's going to size up just fine with like Nuke and some of the other characters, and he's a bigger character anyway, so he's going to look right for the part. Checking out the articulation, one thing that was pretty cool, I noticed when popping the head off, a lot of head rock motion there, so really neat there. Looks up really far, but that neck piece does pop up, but he can look up very far. He can bury his chin pretty decent, but again, that neck piece does get in the way, so not a whole lot of downward motion there, but of course it does go side to side, but the chin kind of does hit that piece again. The arms, unlike the Nuke mold that this body is based on, seem to stop a little bit short of full 90 degrees. I can see it's actually hitting the shoulder joint there, so it does stop there. You do get the bicep swivel and double jointed elbows on both of them, and you do have a hinged and full rotation on that hand there. On this hand, it's worth noting that the hinge is up and down this way, but this glove piece does stop that a lot. Looking down at his diaphragm joint there, can go down that far, And oh boy, he can look up really far, but that just looks weird with all that shoulder pads there. Does have waist swivel. You got the ball jointed knees, sorry, ball jointed hips, and he can kick up pretty far. Doesn't really kick back though, does stop there, and he can go about that wide. He does have the thigh cut, double jointed knees, but again, not a whole lot of motion just because of the way that's designed. You do have a boot cut, and you do get awesome ankle pivot on there. And here is Cable looking at his previous release here, the more modern look. You can see the scale pretty much is the same based on similar body types, similar body molds. So not a whole lot of surprises there in the scale. And to get another idea of the scale here on Cable, we see him with some of the other body types that you'll find pretty common within the Marvel Legends line, ranging all the way from the very tall Colossus down to the very short Wolverine. So he's going to fit in just fine because, again, he is a bigger character, and he's going to look very good, I think, with those X-Men displays. So there you guys have it. That is my review of this Marvel Legends Cable figure, and overall, yeah, I am very happy with him. I think Hasbro did an excellent job all the way from the sculpting details to the paint deco. I think the head sculpt came out great. I love that eyepiece that they added, the eye effect. I think the shadowing they did in the hair looks great. I think the deco that they did as far as the scar and actually adding a little of that pink detail on there looks great. I would have liked to seen more shading in the weapons as opposed to just the flat plastic that they did, but I do like that we get that option to be able to plug in some of those Iron Man effects to get that blaster to look like it's actually firing, so I think that's cool. One downside, of course, being some of that limited articulation because of those giant shoulder pads, but overall, I don't think that hurts the posability of the figure too badly. So overall, again, very happy with this figure. I say go get him and check it out. Thanks, guys. Leave a comment down below. Let me know what you thought of this figure. Let me know what you thought of the review. And as always, thanks for stopping by and have a great day.